Ah, the magic of self-awareness. What is it, and how can we get some? Okay, what is the magic of self-awareness? Well, really, what it is you hear a lot about, the 10,000 hour rule, right? And the thing is, those 10,000 hours, they don't mean anything unless they are high quality hours, right? So I know you could put in 20, 30,000 hours on an endeavor and it'll be junk, right? You don't want that. And if you've already done something like that, hey, let's try something new, because I know I have, all right? Okay, so like I said, growing up, man, I had such an intensity about the way I played. I think a lot of it had to do with, you look on TV and the guitar players like, right, and they got that emotion going. And honestly, I thought that's how you played, right? So I would sit in my room and just beat the living, out of my poor guitar and ultimately my hands, because I just thought that's how you did it, okay? Over the years, I started to relax with the help of some teachers and some common sense, and I learned self-awareness, okay? So why is self-awareness so important? Well, the main thing is guitar players, we grow up and we hear about metronomes and we hear about, practicing 8 hours a day and all these things. And I know me personally, I've played to a metronome many hours a day and just drilling it out, man, just hammering away, right? And sometimes it was good. Sometimes I got good results and sometimes I got terrible results, okay? Sometimes I played for many hours a day for months on end, right, to a metronome, and all I had to show for it was maybe slightly incrementally better, but maybe with some soreness and some disappointment ultimately, okay? So what I've learned to do over the years is, instead of assuming I have something right, a particular technique or a particular line or whatever, instead of assuming I have it right and then just working my way up the metronome, I'll still work my way up a metronome. But what I do now is I'm constantly on the lookout for what it is I'm actually doing compared to what I think I'm actually doing, okay? So what I mean by that is, I'm constantly like, what are my fingers doing? Are they raising too high? Is my grip too tight? Could I use more relaxation? Could I use gravity more to my advantage? Is my picking good? Is it too tight? Am I pushing too hard? Am I not picking hard enough? A good example is, what if you're playing a sequence and one of the notes isn't quite right? Is it your left hand? Is it your right hand? Is that they're not syncing together? There's just the possibilities are literally limitless. And, a good teacher can show you techniques, right? They can show you what's possible on the instrument, but nobody can do this part for you. I wish they could. I mean, I'd be a quadrillionaire, but nobody can do this part for you. You have to really just, you have to go down deep. You have to really start observing what it is you're doing. The payoff, though, the reward for that effort, and it's not that much effort, honestly, is you will start to get so in tune with your hands that as the months go by, as the years go by, and you create a greater level of self-awareness, and you'll get to where you can pick things apart very quickly, right? You'll start on a line, a chord, or whatever, right? And you'll start to realize, I'm doing that thing with my pinky again. Stop that. Or, shoulders raising, You'll become so familiar with how you work and what is required to play a certain piece, a line, a lick, whatever. You just, like anything else, you'll get good at it. You'll zoom in, right? Like a microscope. You'll zoom in, see what's up, make little adjustments, be on your merry way. And that's kind of what I meant by working my way up the metronome. I may still do that, but instead of assuming I have the technique right and slow, notching it up 2 or 3 BPMs for the next 6 months. Now, what I do is, what can I do to make this easier? What am I doing? What little adjustments every time I play as I'm playing every day. What can I do? Little adjustments, little tweaks as I'm working my way up faster and faster. Obviously, a very slow speed isn't going to require as much as a very fast speed. So as you're getting faster, stay loose, but as you're getting faster, what little adjustments do you have to make that particular speed happen? Okay? So my last thing I want to say before I move on is, if you're not used to self-awareness, at least, what I'm talking about here, and, you tend to sit back and drink a burr and, watch the game while you play, there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's fun. It's cool, right? But if you actually want to get better with the least amount of effort in the least amount of time, believe it or not, just sitting down and paying attention to what it is you're doing, I'm telling you, if you can practice the art of observation, of self-awareness, and just get good at that, right? Like anything else, you can get good at it. If you start making that the focus of your practice time, start with self-awareness and then practice. If you do that, I know for myself, the abilities that I've gained over the last couple of years by really, really taking my levels of self-awareness higher and higher, it's floored me, all right? I get far better results in a fraction of the time I used to with a fraction of the effort. I don't know about you, but that's win-win-win, okay? So I think you'll be into it. Please do yourself a favor, give it a try. What have you got to lose, okay? So that's the magic of self-awareness. I highly recommend it, but I'm not going to force you. All right, so let's move on, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out and listening to my rant, and let's move on. Yeah.